My ancestors told me time to wake him up. I told my queen, put on your crown, sister, wake him up. I told my brother, you's a king, I'ma wake him up. You know the children are the future, time to wake them up. Let's bring the family back together, I'ma wake them up. You're making money, make it better, time to wake them up. Who got my back, I'm like whatever, I'ma wake them up. Now let us say these words together, I'ma wake them up. The oracle told me I do something great. Some are real, some are fake, so some you cannot escape. Some will hate, when some is great, so some will salt in the lake. Some assaults may take place, I came to summon the great. You see New Orleans levee break and think we can't levitate? My granny couldn't read and write, you think she can't educate? Cause the graham crackers from granny was the snack that we ate. Yellow cake with chocolate frosting was my favorite she make. That's a fact, at age 8, circle twice, figure 8. Action figures to figure out the fact we cannot escape. The 8 balls of the apes, the way the law legislates. Medicaid, don't medicate, they want the flu vaccinate. Now let that fact resonate, with residue on the plate. When rent is due and it's late, and when it's through section 8, then imagine your mental state, no money to generate. Enough dimes for the dinner plate, who wants to celebrate? Wait. My ancestors told me time to wake him up. I told my queen, put on your crown, sister, wake him up. I told my brother, you's a king, I'ma wake him up. You know the children are the future, time to wake him up. Let's bring the family back together, I'ma wake him up. You're making money, make it better, time to wake him up. Who got my back, I'm like whatever, I'ma wake him up. Now let us say these words together, I'ma wake him up. I'ma hug and kiss my mother when I walk in the house. I'ma hug and kiss my father when I walk in the house. I'ma hug and kiss my brother when I walk in the house. I'ma hug and kiss my sister when I walk in the house. No doubt, the family's back, my auntie been looking out. We used to spend like every weekend at my cousin them house. We on the floor, we on the bed, we on the living room couch. 2 at the foot, 2 at the head, a few or more scattered about. We been in, we been out, we all been through in and out. Mama locking the screen door like ain't no more in and outs. Either in or you out, now you can choose your own route. But ain't gonna be no back and forth and back, now be out. Plus your friends, we all ate from the same fucking plate. Same knife, same spoon, same cup full of drink. Let's pull our money together, let's invest in the bank. Let's buy up the neighborhood, do all the said that we can't. My ancestors told me time to wake him up. I told my queen, put on your crown, sister, wake him up. I told my brother, you's a king, I'ma wake him up. You know the children are the future, time to wake him up. Let's bring the family back together, I'ma wake him up. You're making money, make it better, time to wake him up. Who got my back, I'm like whatever, I'ma wake him up. Now let us say these words together, I'ma wake him up.
All right, peace. Y'all, please like and share the show. Please like and share. Y'all, let me know how my volume sound. My levels right before I even go any further. Let me know if my levels right. My mic is not low. Once y'all do that, I'll get started. Travis, how my mic sounding, man? How my volume sounding? You good? All right. I just wanted to make sure that's why I was low. I was trying to fix my darn stuff, man, where my sound be right. My sound be right. But man, yeah, peace. Y'all, welcome back to Kofi Piesie TV. You know, my little son and little boy, I got something to tell y'all.
Welcome to Kofi Piesie TV.
So please subscribe to the channel now.
So you hadn't subscribed, y'all, please subscribe to the channel. We appreciate everybody that support the channel. You know, but peace and Black African power, man. You know, we're gonna have I'm gonna rant a little bit today, y'all. I'm gonna rant a little bit today. I'm gonna talk about the name of the show is We Stupid for Not Unifying. And we too poor for making other people rich. So, you know, I want to kind of talk about that. It kind of been on my mind a little bit, man. Kind of been bothering me, you know, of, you know, how we are divided. You know what I'm saying? It's a division. We are no different than we no different than the religious people that we talk about, right? We know that Christianity, there's a division within Christianity. The Methodists don't agree with what the Protestants say. The Protestants don't agree with the Seventh-day Adventists say. The Seventh-day Adventists don't believe in what the Methodists say. The Methodists don't believe in what the Pentecostals say. The Pentecostals don't believe in what the Jehovah Witness say. The Jehovah Witness don't believe in what the Seventh-day Evangelists, you know, agree with. So it's a division with there's division within Islam. You got the Nation of Islam. You got the gods and earths. You got the Orthodox Muslims. You got the Shiite, the Sunnis, and the various faction within the Hebrew Israelite camps. This camp don't agree with this camp or don't want to work with, work with this camp, or the Orthodox Jew don't want to work with this Jew. So it's we always bang on those different religions, and we know that there is a division between those, but you would think that us woke people would, you know, the division, we wouldn't have such a division. We wouldn't have such of a I want to son you complex, such of a competitive uh nature toward each other, or just not supporting us in general. So today, I want to talk about, some of the things that we possibly could draw from, um, because there's a division in what we call in the conscious community. Like I named those religions that, a lot of you woke people or conscious people or aware people, talk about, right? And within this you know this thing we're calling the conscious community, or this woke community, it's still a division. It's still a division. You got the super woke people don't want to fool with the people that's not super woke. And what I mean by that, you got the super woke people, or the black power. I'm all for black power, but you got the super black power that, the crack of this, the crack of that, and then they don't want to unite with the people that utilizing uh the crack of marketplaces, or even get involved in the crack of capitalism, or whatever the case may be. So you separate yourself because some of us are still, utilizing some of those systems that has been set up by the Europeans. So you don't want to divide. You don't want to you don't want to unify with us, because because we're still utilizing some of the European systems, to make a way to make a way for us. Then you got some people that, too woke, just because a brother's a Hebrew, he don't want to fool or unite with the Hebrew because the Hebrew dress a certain type of way, or a certain rhetoric. I mean, we all have certain rhetoric that we talk about that, that people don't agree with, or we offend other people, um, in general, man. And but I just want to, talk about something that we can pull from Marcus Garvey, in the UNIA. A lot of people draw from Marcus Garvey in the early 20th century and became successful, you know, um, and I could, kind of talk about um, other organizations who may have pulled from, Marcus Garvey, because we do have blueprints that we can pull from. I mean, you don't have to totally agree with every agree with everything that we go back and we look at, but we have a reference point. We have a few reference points that we can draw from, what I'm saying, in order to, unite us, what I'm saying, where it makes it better for us politically, what I'm saying, socially, and economically. And I'm gonna pull something up about Marcus Garvey, because Marcus Garvey, despite him being a Christian, there were so many different uh people within the UNIA, right? You know what I'm saying? And they unify for one common goal. And that's something that I think that we kind of forget, is what we all got in common. You know, your religion, you can, I have no problem with whatever type of religion a person have. Just keep that, within your confines of your own home, in the confines of your own space. But let's come together for, one common cause. A lot of us, people, especially in America, we are disfranchised, right? So we have a lot of things in common, and they gunning us down and shooting us down every day in the streets. They not asking you is you a Hebrew. They not asking you is you a Pan Africanist. They not asking you is you a black nationalist. They not asking you is you a Christian. They not asking you is you a Muslim. They not asking you is you a Moor. They not asking you is you uh, 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 a Muslim. They're not asking you is you a Jew. They gunning us down in the streets, on a daily. So they not asking us before they getting ready to shoot you, what you identify with, so we got those things in common, where we're being killed at a rapid rate by the police. We got another thing in common, economics. You know what I'm saying? We are disfranchised in a lot of places where we don't have a lot of opportunities like other people have opportunities for as uh, getting finance for certain things. We know that other people, come in, like we look at the Arabs in our community, right? We look at the Chinese that's in our community that's taking over, right? That's not giving back to the community, but they're coming in and they're being afforded an opportunity, what I'm saying, monetary opportunities, what I'm saying, to finance, what I'm saying, a business or a couple of business where they able to sustain themselves, their family, and even send money back to their own country, what I'm saying, to their own families, man. So I'm just saying that, we have a reference point where we can utilize, where we can, try to come together, what I'm saying, and unify, socially, politically, and economically, man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna try to talk about where we get some of these complexes from, right? Like we're gonna talk about I'm gonna probably read something from out of this book, how white folks got so rich, right? So we're going to talk about how white folks got so rich. Because when I mean how white folks got so rich, I not only want to talk about how, we have a reference point that we can draw from to unify. What I'm saying, no matter what walk of life that we come from, you know, and how we take our spending power, right? Um, how we continuously not supporting each other when we do try to put something together economically where we're able to sustain ourselves and our family, and then maybe later be able to present an opportunity for other people in our community as our businesses grow, if our businesses are supported by our own. But we don't support our own, but we continue to make other people that does not look like us, continue to pass down generational wealth. So I want to talk about where that psychology come from, as well as the psychology of us not unifying. Even the woke folks is not unifying. You know what I'm saying? And so we're going to kind of talk about, where that psychology may have stemmed from, or may have come from. So, but before we even get into that, man, again, y'all, please like and share the show. Peace to not Satep Robert Sutek, brother Sutek. Peace to Edward Nigma 9x9. Peace to brother Lavelle. Peace to brother Chavis. Peace to Sunlight 55. Peace to Donnie Williams. Peace to Melanin Goddess. Y'all, please share the show. Please share the show. But before we, if you've been up under a rock and you don't know, I have a new book out. I put out maybe about 2 months ago. I appreciate people who've been ordering the book online. I appreciate the people, what I'm saying, in my community for and for the first time been supporting my books and put out various books. But my community, bought a lot of books, from me this time. I did a little traveling also and sold some books. I done got some good feedback from my books. So if you don't have um, Mandingo theory, castration of Africans and the sex-crazed conceptualization. Please go pick you up a copy. You can go to our website, Same Tree Different Brands Publishing, and get you a copy. I guarantee you it's a great read. Um, and and if you buy the book and you don't like the book, I'll refund your money. That's how, I believe in this book. I believe once you get it, you're gonna pick it up. You're not gonna wanna put the book down. There's some good information in this book, you know what I'm saying? Some information that we gloss over in the conscious community, or we just don't speak on in general. So if you don't have this book, please go to our Same Tree Different Branch Publishing um website. That is www.sametreedifferentbranchpublishing.com. Go to the book market. I think that's what it's called, the book market, and scroll down. You see the various books. If you see something else that you're interested in, we got various books by Sean, Brother Ben, the group in general, Kofi Piesie research team, and other individual books. So please go support those publications. But again, if you don't have Mandingo theory, castrations of Africans, and the sex-crazed conceptualization, please go get your copy today. Now that I have that out of the way. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull up um something real quick just to open up the conversation and talk about. Before we open up the conversation, and I'm gonna share my screen. Again, please like and share the show, but just to the listening audience, I'm interested. Why do y'all think that us woke people hadn't completely unified? Like, we have groups that unified. I'm talking about us unifying. Like, when I look at the Jewish community, let's just say the Jewish community. There's been a lot of talk about the Jewish community, but let's just look at the Jewish community. The Jewish community they have a real community. We talk about the conscious community. The conscious community is really not a real community. It is a social media community, an online community where we gather when somebody scream and go live, or we chop it up with each other on Facebook or Instagram and etc. But these people have a real community where they have their own school buses, their own schools, they have their grocery stores, bookstores, and so forth and etc. to make you know a community where their dollar bill is circulating in their community, and they are building of sustaining, generational wealth, right? So, excuse me. So how why and I know, again, we have certain people, when we mention the conscious community, we can just shoot out different names, right? The people that we watch online, right? We can shoot out maybe, the Amara Squad. Squad was one of our favorite conscious community groups. But we can shout out so many different platforms. Amara Squad, Sarnetta TV, Mossy Warrior Clan, Dagger Squad, Each One Teach One. I mean, there's just so many different, what I'm saying, or even organizations within those things, right? Where they only fooling with whoever they fooling with, right? They're not coming and working with nobody else. Kind of put me in the mind of the Nation of Islam, which we'll talk about the Nation of Islam too, because they pulled a piece or they use a reference point from Marcus Garvey in order to garnish their wealth in 1975, where they was able to raise $80 million and then create a economics where you start to see them with grocery stores, you know what I'm saying, boom, boom, etc. But those things were exclusive for the people of Nation of Islam. They didn't even unite with the whole Black America. It was, you had to be a part of the Nation of Islam, which we'll probably talk about that. But let me pull this up, man. But why y'all think that we are not unifying? Why y'all think we're not unifying? We can talk about and regurgitate so many different issues that's going on in the United States for Black people, right? Whatever you calling yourself, a black man, African American, Hebrew Israelite, Moor, black Jew, black nationalist, uh, Kimite as a new term, which is no such thing as a Kimite. But why we're not unifying, why we are still separate, why is so much division within the woke community or the conscious community. Before I pull up this thing, because I want to talk about Marcus Garvey and some of the reference points and some of the impressive stuff that he did without a social media. But why y'all think, man, we're not unifying, man? Why y'all think we're not unifying? What's stopping us from uh unifying as a whole, coming together, and working together, uh to build you know build something for us. Why y'all think we're not coming together? Socially, politically, and economically. Why we not coming together? What y'all think about that? I know it's a delay, but I want to see. And while y'all doing it, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. But I'm just interested in why y'all, we're not coming together. Well, hold on, let me do this. I see somebody already commented before I even share my screen. He said egos and ex-cult member NIGGAs claim they see each other as brothers, but they really don't. It's about that almighty dollar. I can agree why yes, that's another reason, I can agree. And we're gonna kind of talk about that a little bit because I want to talk about where we get these or we develop these bad habits of not actually unifying together, and these bad habits are taking our money and spending them with somebody else. But I can definitely agree with that Ogun Bola. You know what I'm saying? Egos, there are a lot of egos, and, where we want a little boy, we want to son everybody. We want, what I'm saying, to stroke our egos, what I'm saying, by making someone else feel, you know, not as intelligent as we are. And we know that, the monetary thing, because we're going to talk about that too, but about the money thing, you know what I'm saying? Everybody now is not, it's about the bag for one individual, you know what I'm saying? So we're not willing to share the bag with anybody else. So, we're going to do certain things where we keep, that bag secure for ourselves. But we're going to get into that. Let me see if anybody said anything else for because we have. It says because we have the white man mind after being under him for centuries, and that's a fact. And we're going to talk about that a little bit too. You know what I'm saying, in this book right here, how white folks got so rich. I'm just going to read maybe a page and a half because I want to talk about maybe some of the psychology that we get where we constantly spending our money and going other places and spending our money instead of investing in ourselves, or what happened or something that happened, and we still have that mindset. We're still affected with that same mindset today, right? But let me share my screen, man. Uh, y'all let me know when my screen is sharing. I'm gonna go over here. Hold on, I'm gonna try to make this bigger. Let me come out. Let me stop sharing. I'm gonna stop sharing. I want the screen wide where y'all able to see the whole full screen. All right, let me go back in here. Y'all let me know when I'm sharing again. All right. Dang, and I didn't take his thing off of there. And let me see if I can enlarge in this a little bit too, because the letters are kind of small, just in case people want to keep up and read too. All right, that should be big enough. So, like I said, I want to talk about like we have some reference points. We have like I could have pulled like a different. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna stop it again. Let me take that off here because I know that's that comment is gonna block the entire. It's gonna block the entire. Let's take that off of there. All right, let's go back in, share screen. All right. Peace, brother Brandon. What's up with it, brother Brandon? And peace, Ibaka, Ogun Bola, I ain't speak to everybody, and Blak internalized racism. All right, y'all see this. Like I said, we're gonna use, like I said, I could have used a lot of different reference points, and a lot of people, like some people may disagree with some of the things that, ideals or strategies that Marcus Garvey used. Some people may, have an issue with, certain things that um the minister did early on with the Nation of Islam. Some people may have an issue with the Black Panther Party. Some people may have an issue with um, when Malcolm X branched off and started his own things and his ideals, right? So, and I'm saying we have, and there's tons of reference points that we can use, right? Right. And I just thought, I just wanted to use Marcus Garvey because Marcus Garvey was able to unify different people that believed in different things, but they came together for one common goal. So they came together socially, politically, and economically, right? You know, and let's just start, man. Marcus Garvey and his organization, the Universal Negro Improvement Association, represented a large mass of movements, mass of movements in African American history, proclaimed that Black nationalists, Black to America, back to America, Africa, the Mrs. Garvey and the UNIA established 700 branches in 38 states by early 1920. Now, this is impressive to me. And I talked about this too. I go in depth on the UNIA and Marcus Garvey, which I must say an excellent presentation that I did maybe 2 years ago. Man, an excellent presentation. I went in depth on a lot of different things, but and I talked about this before in that presentation. But this man was able to unify people, right? He was able to create 700 branches in 38 states by early 1920. This man was able to do this without social media. This man was able to do this, what I'm saying, without screaming. These things weren't even existing at this time, right? So while chapters exist in the largest urban areas such as New York, Chicago, and Los Angeles, Garvey message reached into small towns across the country, as well as later groups such as the Father Divine Universal Peace Mission movement of the Nation of Islam drew members and philosophy from Garvey. Organizations and the UNIA appealed to the influence were felt not only in America, but Canada and the Caribbean and throughout Africa, right? So he was able to influence lots of, and I forgot about Father Divine, right? You know what I'm saying? The nation of God's and earth for the 5%ers, right? And his movement, a universal peace mission movement, right? They was able to draw things from Marcus Garvey, UNIA, some of those ideals, some of the things that they was able to accomplish, what they did and able to garnish and accomplish those different things, and how they was able to, create jobs and opportunities for other people in their community, grow their community. So, the Nation of Islam, like I talked about earlier, the issue that I had with the Nation of Islam, if you go look at, they was only for the Nation of Islam. It was the unifying of all Black people. It was just definitely, it was for the Nation of Islam, right? But the Nation of Islam was able to take these ideals, or use Marcus Garvey, UNIA as a reference point in order to create, um, and opportunity for black folks. 1975, I think they was able to garnish, I think, about 80 some $1 million. And this is from grocery stores, bookstores, and etc. They was buying up property, and they was, creating opportunities for, within themselves, but they used a reference point. You know what I'm saying? The Black Panthers used this as a reference point. Father Divine used this as a reference point. So many people use this as a reference point. So we have reference points that we can go and use and see how, take away some of the things that these ideals that he was able to use in order to unite people, what I'm saying, of color, no matter what you actually believed in, because you had people that was Rastafarians, you had people that was Christians, Muslims, Hebrews that was a part of the the Universal Negro Improvement Association. He was able to, you know, uh, get all these people that has different ideals, different beliefs, different philosophies, different outlooks, on the world, what I'm saying, and unify them for one common goal, right? So let me scroll down. Let's go right here. In 1919, Garvey purchased the auditorium of Harlem in the name of Liberty Hall. There he held nightly meetings of getting his message out. Sometimes in an audience of 600,000. In 1918, he began a newspaper, Negro World, which in 1920 had a circulation somewhere between 50,000 to 200,000 memberships in the UNIA. This man had between 50,000 to 200,000 memberships in the UNIA. Its difficulty to access at one point. Garvey claimed to have 6 million members. That figure is most likely inflated. However, it is beyond dispute that millions were involved and directly affected by Garvey and his message. To promote unity, Garvey encouraged African Americans to be concerned with themselves first. He states after the World War I that the first dying that is to be done by the black man in the future will be done to make himself free. And then when we are finished, if we have any charity to bestow, we may die for the white man. But as for me, I think I have stopped dying for him. Black people had to do the work that success, the independence demand. And that's another thing. He says black people have to do the work. And that's something else that I think that we're lacking. And that is the lack of work ethic. We want to continue to complain about the hardships that we are having over here in America, but nobody is willing to put in any type of work. Most of us don't want to put in any type of work. We'll talk a big game, but when we come together, some of us that comes together and say, hey, look, we're going to strategize, you know what I'm saying, and we're going to come up with some type of solution. But in order to come up with these solutions to fix some of the problems and some of the issues, this is what we're going to have to do. And this involves putting in work in order for us to be successful, right? But a lot of us are about talking. Nobody is want to put in any type of work, right? So he says the black has to do the work that successes and independence demand. And even, I talked about, some of our super black power. I'm for black power all day. I'm red, black, and green all day. Those are my favorite colors. When I go out, I wear a lot of black, red, and green all the time, right? So I'm for it. But some of our super black power brothers and sisters, you know, they don't even want to put in the work. They want to complain about certain things and not working with certain people that's still utilizing some of the systems that the European put in place in order for us to, support or try to sustain our families. So they want to segregate themselves away from us because some of us may possibly deal with the white man's systems, far as using their markets, using their markets, in order to promote ourselves or, to sell ourselves or sell what we have to the people, right? So, and most of those want to be independent, but in order for us to be independent and sustain our own selves and build our own, you know, and work must be put in. If you want liberty, claim Garvey to be meeting held in 1921. You yourself must strike the blow. If you must be free, you must become so thorough your own efforts. But Garvey knew African Americans would not take actions if they did not change their perceptions of themselves. And that's another issue that we have is not changing the perception in ourselves. A lot of us don't think that we could do some of the things that other people are doing that doesn't look like us. But those are people that are unstudied or underread, you know what I'm saying, and went through the food system. In the food system, it teaches us to have low self-esteem. It teaches us that we have no type of value. It teaches us that our people didn't contribute anything to the world, anything to society, right? So therefore, they teaches us that those that didn't look like us, you know what I'm saying, contributed all these things to the world, you know what I'm saying, and we wouldn't have some of the things or we have if it wasn't for those who doesn't look like us. You know what I'm saying? So they have conditioned us to have low self-esteem about ourselves, and those who look like us are smarter than us. We are not intellectual. We are not smart enough where we able, you know what I'm saying, which is untrue. So we have to be able to paint a better picture for ourselves, you know what I'm saying? And understand that our ancestors contribute a lot of things to the world, a lot of things that were stolen away from us. You know what I'm saying? Especially when we get over here and we talk about America. A lot of the inventions that was created over here was created of people of color. The only thing that the European at that time was best for that is for the patent, you know, patent, right? But he says he hammered home the ideals of racial pride and celebration, the African past, and encouraged African Americans to be proud. And let me say this too, and I'll keep going. Racial pride. A lot of us, we talk about racial pride. We scream Black power, we scream Black unity. You know what I'm saying? But I don't see it. We have, when I say I don't see it, is we'll rather go spend our money or we'll rather go support other people that doesn't look like us, you know what I'm saying, for whatever reason it is. That's not Black power. That's not Black unity. When you bypass my store and go straight to, if I got a grocery store, you bypass my grocery store and go straight to um you go straight to Sack and Save. That's not Black power, Black unity. If I have a bookstore and you bypass my bookstore and go to Barnes and Nobles, or you go to Books a Millions, that's not Black power. He hammered home ideals of racial pride by celebrating Africans by the past, encouraging African Americans to be proud of their heritage and proud of their way they look. Garvey proclaimed Black is beautiful long before he hammered became popular in the 1960s. He wanted African Americans to see themselves as a member of a mighty race. We must canonize our own saints, create our own martyrs, and elevate to a position of fame and honor Black men and women who have made their distinct contribution to our racial history. And we are down talking a lot of our people who made great contributions, you know what I'm saying, in the time. We got people now talking about Dr. Ben and talking about John Henry Clark and Asher Hilliard and all the other greats that contribute some of these things, far as dealing with our racial pride and things that Black people contribute to the world, right? He encouraged parents to give their children dolls that look like them to play with, to cuddle. He did not want Black people to think of themselves as deviant way. I am equal of white man. I want you to feel the same way. Garvey organized a group in a way that made sentiments visible. He created an African Legion that dressed the military guards, uniform marching bands, and auxiliary groups such as Black Cross nurses. he was elected in 1920 to the provisional president of Africa by the member of the UNIA and dressed in the military uniform with a plum hat. At the UNIA's first international convention in 1920, people lined in the streets of Harlem to watch Garvey and his followers dressed in the military outfits, marched in meetings under the banner to read, "We want a black civilization and Africa must be free." All pumped brought Garvey's ridicule from mainstream African American leaders, but also served to inspire many African Americans who had never seen black people bold and daring. While racial pride and unity played important roles in Garvey black nationalism, he taught capitalism as a tool that would establish African Americans as an independent group. His message has been called the evangelist of black success, for he believed economic success was the quickest and most effective way to independence. And I'm gonna start right there and I start back. And I agree with that. A lot of us, we talk about capitalism, right? A lot of us don't want to deal with capitalism, right? And Marcus Garvey said he taunted capitalism as a tool that would establish African American as an independent group, right? His message has been called to evangelize the black success for his believed economic success. And we have to participate. Where I know some people don't participate, don't believe in participating in capitalism or participating in these European systems or marketplaces that they're created, right? Success as the quickest way or most effective way of independence. Increasingly enough, it was white America that served as a prime example that blacks could accomplish. Until you proceed while the white man has produced, he claimed you will not be his equal. In 1919, he established the Negro Factory Corporation and offered stocks for African Americans to buy. He wanted to produce everything that a nation needed so that African Americans could completely rely on their own efforts. At one point, the corporation operated 3 grocery stores, 2 restaurants, a printing plant, a steam laundry, and owned several buildings and truck in New York City's alone. His most famous economic ventures was a shipping company known as a Black Star Line and the counterparts of white-owned company called the White Star Line. Garvey started the shipping company in 1919, and it was a way to promote to trade, but also to transport passengers to Africa. He believed it could also serve as an important and tangible sign of black success. However, the shipping company eventually failed due to the expensive repairs, mismanagement, and corruption, right? So during 1919, right, 1920, we're talking about the 20th century, right? Marcus Garvey, the UNIA was able to own 3 grocery stores, 2 restaurants, a printing plant, a steam laundry, several other buildings, trucks that they owned in New York, and even a shipping line that he was going to use to transport people back to Africa, but not only transport people back to Africa, but use it to promote trade, right? To go back and forth and trade with other people, right? And this was in the 20th century. And again, Marcus Garvey was able to unify, they said, millions of people, right? He had over 700 other chapters in 38 states across the world, right? I'm gonna stop sharing this because I'm gonna share something else in a minute, but let me stop sharing this. So, and I'm not gonna read all of this. And there's a few, let me see. There's a lot of that's a lot of books that goes in depth about the UNIA and Marcus Garvey and some of the ideals he had as far as creating our own black utopia, what I'm saying, our black independence, right? So, we have a reference point right there. Y'all let me know if I'm still live. My computer is spinning on this side right here. Let me know if y'all can still hear me. People down, niggas too, ninjas too. Go black. What I said, we ain't monolithic. We have too easy here in America as compared to work others have to do to job. And y'all, can y'all still hear me? Let me know if y'all can still hear me. Yeah, you good. Okay. All right. Because this computer over here is spinning. But yeah, I'm just saying, man, we have, you know, reference points, man, that we can go to. That's not the only reference point that we have, but we're talking about, man, in the 20th century, man, where they was able to unify and accomplish so many different things. You know, they might, some people say, well, they weren't able to keep all those things. They did such and such, and those things don't even exist no more. But I mean, we can use those things as a marketplace. I mean, as a reference point. You know what I'm saying? And we can, we can read, the story of Marcus Garvey and some of those other things where it talks about, how he was able to unify these different people. And again, a lot of it was just meeting and people speaking, right? You know what I'm saying? And I think that's something that, something that we that we might need to do. We might, and I think Brother Baba Imhotep, he kind of have a great idea well what he's trying to do with the things that he's doing every year to build up the momentum of creating something where we can come together, you know what I'm saying, and sit down and talk about some of those issues that we have, you know what I'm saying, and create these think tanks where we able to solve some of the issues, some of the problems, you know what I'm saying, and even heal some of the issues that we may have with each other. Because, you know, we don't we could be in a better situation right now. I say this all the time. We can be in a better situation right now. There's many people who, may have wrote up plans, and it seems like every time somebody write up a certain plan or try to, galvanize the people to come together so we can actually sit down and talk, somebody always have, and people always have an issue, why it's not gonna work or shoot, certain things down. And with that mindset, to we'll never be able to accomplish the things that we have. If someone is always negative and always seeing a negative within something, take the positive out of certain thing. That's the reason why I say we all need to get together and do what Marcus Garvey did, in those auditoriums where he was able to speak, and you know what I'm saying, and get the masses of the get the masses of the people, get the masses of the people to believe in some of the ideals that he had for creating, Black independence, you know what I'm saying? And, what it's going to take, which he said is going to take some work. And a lot of us, it's not going to, a lot of us is not willing to put in any type of work, you know what I'm saying, to make sure that if it's not us, the next generation be able to see some of the success where we're able to unify, where where we're able to have, have uh our past generational wealth down to our families, where we able to see they're able to see that okay, we can own our own hospitals, we can own our own grocery stores, um we can own our own bookstores, we can own our own, hospitals, we can own our own trucking companies, we can sustain our own, you know what I'm saying, we can sustain our own people, we can trust um our own people. I don't know why this laptop is doing this, man. But hold on. Let me go back up in here. Yeah, give me 1 second. I'm gonna share something else, man, real quick. I want to read some out of this book, and then I want to talk about, because on the book cover, I got where we talk about, coming together socially, politically, and economically, right? And why, man, we are, we continuously, have a mindset where we don't want to unify and we don't want to support ourselves. And we see how, in the 21st century, how that's working out for us, not us not unifying for one common goal, you know what I'm saying? And it's working out bad for us. But some of these things, like I said, some of these things that come out of slavery where, it's time we get our money, we take our money and we spend it with other people that doesn't look like us. And if those who we want to spend our, I mean, and those who may have businesses in our communities that look like us. We don't want to support them, and if we do support them, we want we want it for the low, man. Let me get it. Let me get it for the low. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, let me. All I got is a such and such dollar, but we'll go spend money um on these high end brands, you know what I'm saying? Clothing. We'll go even now, we'll go spend our money if I'm growing a if I have a grocery store or growing natural food out in the back while I'm selling food, you'll still go down there to Walmart because I can say when a carton of eggs right now is damn near $6. A carton of eggs is damn near $6. Water is damn near $8 for a case of water when it was $3. But you'll go down there and spend that $8 with somebody that doesn't look like them instead of versus coming to me when I'm selling water for $3.50, right? But I want to read some and share some from out of this book. Um, it's called How White Folks Got So Rich. Um, it says this is how well, I'm gonna start right here. So there was a specific provision in the Jim Crow laws and the customs that gave whites and rights to take money away from black people at will. If black tried to save and invest their earnings, their money would be confiscated. One state decreed that having um, 1/8 or more of a Negro blood was equivalent caused the void to contract laws invading Negro testimonies effectively. It's impossible for blacks to use the court system to enforce any contract or agreement. The white man could walk into the homes of black families and take whatever he wanted, including their cotton or corn harvest, tools, and farm animals, along with man's daughter and wife if they had no illegal recourse. Black responds to the oppression becoming fasting spenders. They knew if they could quickly turn their wages into some form of usable merchandise such as food or clothing intended for direct use of immediate consumptions, they had a better chance of seeing value for their wages. They could trust no banks in holding it, for financial institutions might just upsend with black deposited savings. And did Moses Banks in Alabama, and because of the Jim Crow laws, possession of money by blacks was actually seen as evidence as criminality. These drove to the overpricing country stores merchants as soon as it received their pays. What more, black laborers oftentimes paid solely in scripts of coupons and so harsh, never had made into black hands. In Harlem's, within the largest of black neighborhoods in America, only 4% of the massive retail revenue came through black businesses in conditions that could never ever exist in any other community. Intended to the exploitation of black powerlessness is the model for white success in America. Blacks wanted to use their money wisely, but racism system punished them when they did. The black response to the white wickedness is white wickedness logically even wise, but it is to set in motion damaging spending it as you get it in a mindset that continues to this day. So today, blacks do not trust the banks or the courts. They trust only that which they could hold in their hands. As destruction as a behavior as the black progress, it sends a 1.1 trillion cash flow into a hard hands of whites who will do anything to keep black thinking, spending, and consuming of a manner that will keep them financially insecure and economically independent, right? So in this book, they saying that during the Jim Crow areas coming out, during the Jim Crow area, there was a Jim Crow law that was passed where, even if we made an agreement, a binding agreement, with someone, that agreement wouldn't be binding. They could still come in and take away your land. They can come in and take away your crops. They can come in and take away um, your your um um your family. So at this time, as we begin to try to build something for ourselves, and work hard for it, it was being taken, and they were saying that it created a condition where it is still going on today, where we had this mindset as soon as we get the money, we want to go and spend it. We want to go and spend it on food. We want to go spend it on clothing. And a lot of us, I see this, see that going on today where we spend a lot of our money on food. We spend a lot of money on clothing. And a lot of the clothing that we spend our money on, man, we spend our money on clothing, or we work hard just to spend our money on clothing for our kids so our kids can look good. So we doge into those high fashions, right? We doge into the Balenciaga, we doge into the Gucci. We do. A lot of us don't want to step outside unless we got uh those types of clothing on. We'll go spend $300 for a pair of pants, right? you know, versus spending $50. If I had a pair of pants for $50, you'd be trying to get my pair of pants for $75. But the book was just saying it was, through the Jim Crow era and them passing those Jim Crow's laws where they was able to come in and take anything of value of what we worked hard for, created a mindset as soon as we got the money, we wanted to go and try to spend it because they can come in and take our money, they can come in and take certain things. So we spent our money on certain things, spent our money on certain clothes. We spent our money on clothes, we spent our money on food. And we are continuously making people that doesn't look like us rich. So what are you saying, Kofi? What you mean by that? So like I'm saying, and I've been guilty of this in the past, Again, keyword in the past. My son, he loves those high end fashion. So his mother works hard to buy, you know what I'm saying, clothing from, buy clothes or what they consider high end fashion. So, she continued to work hard, to buy these clothes. But let me look, let's go to let me I'm gonna share my screen. All right, I hope y'all can see that because I can't see it on my other laptop. Damn. Hold on, I'm gonna restart this while we look at this. Hold on, let me restart my laptop over here. All right. So a lot of us, we spend our money on Dior. We spend a lot of our money on Chanel. Spend a lot of our money on Prada. Spend a lot of our money on Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Fendi, and so forth, right? We're continuously spending our money and continuously passing generational wealth down to other people that does not look like us. And a lot of us don't even know who own these companies, who own these companies, right? So let's look at Dior real quick, because Dior is a popular brand, and I didn't know about Dior until, to be honest with you, until, and I could be wrong, but I believe Pop Smoke popularized Dior and made it fashionable for people to go out and spend all their money on Dior. I didn't, but I could be wrong. I didn't know about Dior until Pops till I started listening to Pop Smoke, and he talked about Dior. But let's see, hold on. Let's see who owns Dior. It says Christian Dior is a common known as Dior. Stylish Dior is a French high-end luxury fashion brand controlled by chairs by French businessmen. Let's see who this is. Bernard. I don't know this, but this is who controls uh Dior, right? Let's go back off of here. He is the co-founder, chairman, and chief executive. Hold on, let me go back here. Let's see. Who has headed LVMH the world's greatest luxury group. Dior holds 43.36 shares and 59.0 voting rights to LVHM. We're going to show, I'll show in a minute how much these companies are worth. But again, I just want to show you who owning, you know what I'm saying, and running these companies. These are people that doesn't look like us. And these are and most of these high brand fashion, high end fashions that we're going to look at, you know, these companies are not even run. These companies, I'll say, not even founded in the United States. Hold on, let's go back. Let's go to Louis Vuitton. Louis Vuitton, commonly known as Louis Vuitton, it is a French high-end luxury fashion house and company founded in 1854 by Louis Vuitton. This is the founder, Louis Vuitton. All right, the label LV monogram appears on most of its products, ranging from luxury bags to leather goods, from ready to wear shoes, watches, jewelry, accessories, sunglasses, and books. Louis Vuitton is one of the world's leading international fashion houses. It's selling its products through standalone boutiques, leasing departments, and high-end department stores, as through the e-commerce section of websites. Let's look at Gucci. Gucci is an Italian high-end luxury fashion house based out of Florence, Italy. Its product line includes handbags, ready-to-wear footwear, accessory, homes, decorations, and licensed named and branding companies. Gucci was founded in 1921 by Guccio Gucci, if I say his name right. This is the founder right here. Oh, let's go to Prada. Let's look at Prada. Prada SPA is an Italian high-end luxury fashion house founded in 1913 in Milan by Marlo Prada. Let's see. I might have to go over here. Let me just. They don't show an image of him. Let's go over here. Let's see if they'll show the picture. And no, it's not showing, but that's him right there. I thought maybe. But let's go here. It's gonna let me make it big. Okay. It's not gonna let me enlarge it, but this is the founder right here, Mario Prada. Mario Prada. All right, let's go to more. Let's go to. Not gonna look at all of them. Let's look at Balenciaga. And by the way, Balenciaga shoes is ugly. They ugly. I don't understand why we market it like a lot of our hip hop artists. They market Balenciaga. You know what I'm saying? The shoes, the designer shoes, is ugly to me. They is ugly. It is hot, but and I believe the people that wear them, you know, in our community that wear them. Most of the people I see that wear them, they use them as uh, a success statement. Wearing most of all these clothes. You ain't got it if you're not wearing these high end these high-end clothes, right? And even the shoes, they know they're ugly, but man, hey, I can go in the store, it's a statement. I can go and pay $1,500, $2,500 for a pair of ugly shoes, right? So it says it is a high-end luxury fashion house founded in 1919 uh, by the Spanish designer Cristobal Balenciaga. Let's see. Here he is right here. Damn, there's a little old picture of him right here. I want to see if I can find a bigger picture. Hold on. Let's do this. They still not letting me show. I wanted to show a bigger picture of him, but y'all see uh what Cristobal Balenciaga. That's a bigger picture of him right there. All right. I'm gonna look at a couple of more. Let's see. What's some of the other problems, y'all, that everybody be looking at? It Balenciaga. Hold on. We did Dior. We always screaming about it, and we always going out. Let's see. Mm, let's see. Armani. Armani is another one, right? Let's look at Armani. Gloria Armani SPA Pronouncer, commonly known as Armani, is an Italian luxury fashion house founded in Milan by Giorgio Armani. So this is Giorgio Armani right here. Let's go back. You can see a lot of these high-end fashion. Well, we know all of them is in Paris and France and Italy. Let me stop sharing my screen because I'm not gonna show all those things, man. But you know, we spend a lot of money um with people that doesn't look like us, man. That doesn't look like us. And we make those brands validate who we are. You know what I'm saying? So or we make those brands make us feel good. So if I got on a pair of Louis Vuittons, you know, it makes us feel good. I guess, but we spending all our money on these high end fashions, and what are they doing for us? We're making it a popular. We're making Dior. Like I said, most of the hip hop industry, uh, condition us. I'll say because a lot of us listen to music, and a lot of us still is influenced by some of these people, whether they in the music industry, whether they in the movie industry. We let them influence them. We they influence us, so we look at what they are wearing. You know what I'm saying? We look at what they are talking about, and we let that influence us. You know what I'm saying? So what what are these companies giving? Are these companies Dior and Prada and Armani and Gucci and Louis and Chanel? Uh these founders or in these companies that are these companies giving a kickback to the black community for influencing people all over the world to wear um to wear their clothing. And I want to know, man, is because I don't know, maybe y'all know, are we buying majority of their clothing? Are we buying into more of their brands? Are we, what I mean by that, or are we African Americans or whatever black folks, are we spending, are we spending, are we spending more of our money on these brands than any other people? I know, they're popular everywhere else, but we made it so popular where people all over the world is buying this. So are we spending more, or I'm just thinking that we're spending more money? Because I don't see, I don't look at a lot of TV, but when I do look at a lot of TV, I don't see a lot of white people or Italian people, Mexican people, or Puerto Ricans. I don't see a lot of those people wearing Dior. But if I turn on the TV and I'm looking at any type of event that's going on, or any type of TV show where black people are successful in, I see a lot of these brands. I see a lot of people wearing these brands. Chad Butler did an exceptional job at promoting pilots of highlight videos. Who is Chad Butler? Donnie Williams. Who is Chad Butler? You talking about Pimp C? Because I'm trying to figure out who influenced me. I forgot who actually influenced me to wear heel figure. Because I ain't gonna. Well, no. It wasn't heel figure. I wore heel figure I didn't buy heel figure, but my parents at the time bought heel figure when heel figure was very popular. And and man, he made a statement. But this was way after This was way after I was still a kid. But I mean, I think I might have been a teenager, or transitioning out and going into college. I might have been in college when he made a statement that, he didn't make his clothes for black people. And we still wore heel figure. I know, well, no, that wasn't. Um, well, that wasn't. But I eventually started to wear polo. That's what it was. I started calling myself the Polo King. Is that the same thing? Heel figure and polo the same thing, y'all? Heel figure and polo the same thing? Pimp C did like heel figure because of the racism. Pimp didn't like. Okay. Okay. Oh, I mean, that's why I was asking. I was trying to see, did he like, but I'm trying to see who was Chad Butler, because I don't know who popularized it. All I know is I wasn't buying my clothes at the time when I was wearing heel figure. Um, a lot of times my parents would go buy heel figure, um, cross colors at the time, but cross colors was black on, cross colors, uh, FUBU. So we did. My grandmother did buy a lot of black owned brands at that time, but she bought heel figure too. Heel figure was popular, but I do remember buying. What about Jabos, man? Let's look up Jabos, man. I know the Hot Boys made Jabos, and I don't even know how to spell Jabos. Let me see if I can spell Jabos. Somebody tell me how to spell Jabos. Damn, they still making Jabot jeans. Who? Let me see. Hold on, y'all. Let me see. I'm interested. Mm. I'm looking it up, y'all. I know y'all probably wondering what I'm doing. I'm looking. I want to know. And how many of y'all know about Jabot jeans? It's Marianne and Frenchco's. Let's see. I want to know what they look like. Wow. Hold on. Let me do this. Let me share my screen. Let me go back over. I want to share my screen. But how many of y'all know about Jabot jeans, man? Man, I wore Jabos. I was Jabot down, man. Jabos and soldieries at the time. That's what we called Reeboks at the time. Jabos and soldieries. And I won't per se just say the hot boy. Hot boys actually popularized it. And Jabot jeans at that time was $50. You know, and that's expensive as hell. You know what I'm saying? And that's expensive. Let's say, let me see when I was wearing Jabos. And when I was wearing Jabos, but then I started wearing Jabos when the hot boys. I can't remember when it was, but I know it was $50. Hold on, let me share my screen. So these are the founders of Jabot jeans. Marthio, I can't even, if Francisco Jabot. So let me see. I'm interested into where they got, and I know it probably wasn't in the United States neither. Let's see. Hold on, let me go back. Let's see. An international clothing company based in France. Okay, founded and stylish. All right. So a lot of these companies that these high end fashion is overseas. Let me stop. But yeah, it just made me think about Jabot jeans, man. I remember, let's see what he says. I remember them Jabots was hot in the '90s and it was the early '90s, man. I used to have the whole Jabot suit, man, the Jabot pants, the Jabot t-shirts, and the Jabot jean shirts. You know, at those time, man, $150 for the shirt, $50 for the pair of pants, and then $50 at that time for the soldieries, $50 to $55 for the all white uh Reeboks and the all black both low tops. You know, low tops or high tops, it didn't matter. The soldieries and the Jabos, you know what I'm saying? And you're right, that was the early '90s, man. And man, I put a lot of money because at that time in the early '90s, I was still in school, but I was in high school and I was getting my child support check. Then my grandma was already buying us stuff, but then she would give us money where we can, our child support checks and we can go buy whatever we want. I'll take my whole whole check, man, and go buy one outfit, one outfit. You know what I'm saying? Or I would go downtown. They had a place where we can go downtown. I can't think of the name of the place. It ain't there no more. But it was a place you can go down there and they do layaway, man. And I would go down there and man, I'll put me about 5 pair of Jabos on layaway. You know, put me a couple of shirts on layaway, and I go in there and I pay it till I pay it. You know, I pay it on down or whatever. I pay half, and then I get my grandmother to pay the other half, man. You know, so I can be Jabot down, man. That's crazy, man. What Sean say? Your mic. What my mic doing, Sean? I probably because I keep walking away from it. Can you hear me good now? I know it probably sound like it's going off every time I walk away from the mic. Yo, shit, in and out. That's probably because I was walking away from it. And all you had to do was just tell me, man, it was going in and out. But yeah, man. Damn, I done lost my train of thought. I got to talking about Jabos because I wanted to go somewhere. I was going somewhere with it and I forgot where I was going with it, going away with it, man. We got on Jabos, man. Got to talking about Jabos, man. But how many of y'all, man, wear some of those high end fashions? I mean, how many of some of y'all wear? I don't wear none of them. I wear all my stuff. If you see me, I got our stuff on. Yep, I got our stuff on. I got Kofi Piesie research team stuff on. I got the Mossy stuff on. I got Mboka stuff on, or I just got Mboka Apparel stuff on. I wear our stuff. And if I wear a pair of pants, I wear Nike. I like the Nike jumpsuit. Yeah, you be turning away from the mic. Yeah, I know I keep turning away from the mic. Let me look at some of these comments. He said they might be ugly, but comfortable though, like the Yeezys. I heard they ain't comfortable, man. How many of y'all got a pair of designer Balenciaga shoes, man? A lot of these rappers, some of these entertainers I see be wearing, man. Them shoes be so ugly. I heard that they was uncomfortable, but I don't know. I don't own a pair of them. I can't afford a pair of $1,500 pair of shoes. You got a pair of Sutek? You look like you'll wear only Ralph. I don't like D&G kicks though. How many of y'all wearing Fendi? I mean, I like some of the stuff. Don't get me wrong, I like it, but I'm not finna buy it, and I'm not finna pay for my son for none of those. None of it. Shit, me and his mom be going back and forth. I'm not spending my money on it. You want me to go buy him some clothes? I'm gonna go buy him some clothes, or I'm gonna order him some stuff off our apparel line. That's what I be doing. Y'all stop capping. Y'all be wearing that stuff. But shoot, man, let me get up off of here, man. Lacosta pretty much for Lacosta. Yeah, let me see who owned Lacosta. Like Lacosta was high end too, Donnie. Lacosta was pretty much it for me. Okay. And is it still high? Because I back then I think I had started wearing Lacosta too. And I remember buying it with my own money. And let me see who owned Lacosta. But I think they shirts was like the polo shirts. I think like the polo shirts back then, they was like almost $50, and the t-shirts were like $25 to $30. We talking about in the 90s now. Y'all, this was high. It's still high. Hell, I ain't finna spend $50 for a shirt. For one shirt. Let me see. Lacosta on here too. I didn't look at it. Let me see who owned Lacosta. Lacosta. And I want to see where it's probably overseas too. Yep, it's a French company. A French company founded by a 1933 tennis player. Yeah. Another Frenchman, another white man. But yeah, it's founded by yeah, I ain't finna buy that. What is you saying? Like he's saying is reasonable. Lacosta is relative reasonable. What you paying for? What you paying for a shirt now? It was $50. Like I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like Sean said, that it kept me broke. Like I would go spend my whole child support check. I go spend my whole child support check. Then I go get some money from my grandmother, or I go put some stuff on layaway, and then have my grandmother to go get it out of layaway for me. So what's the reasonable? What's the reason? White t-shirt, blue jeans, and Nikes. White t-shirt. I wear a lot of white t-shirts. If I'm just throwing something on, I buy t-shirts. Well, I stopped. I was buying t-shirts every time I went to Walmart. I buy me a pack of 5 or a pack of 10 white t-shirt. Throw me a t-shirt on. Throw me some joggers on. Throw me on a pair of Nikes, Air Force Ones, some type of Air Force Ones. Uh, Air Max, and get on down. Cheap way. I have $350 jogging suit I haven't worn. Shh. What kind of suit it is, Sean? I have a $350 jogging suit I haven't worn. That is 8 year old. Man, what kind of jogging suit you got? With a Balenciaga jogging suit? What you got? A Louis? What you got? Sean, I never wear a $500 fit of shoes. Man, I wish I would pay $350 for whatever that is. You got what? About a cool 100. A cool hunter for what? Sutek. But it's crazy how we spending all this money, man. We spending all this money on these brands, man. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of us don't even know who the founders, you know what I'm saying, of these brands, man. How long these brands, been in existence and how much these people are already rich, and we continuously to make these people rich, man. Like I said, I was caught up in it, but I don't do it now. I don't do it. It's our brand, or it's our brand, and that's it. Shoes, like I said, I love Nike because I got bad feet, so I wear a lot of Air Max. I wear a lot of Air Force Ones. That's about all I can do, man, as far as the money. And I be cussing about that 90 Air Force being a 90 to 100. I just got a pair of white ones. I had to pay $120 for because shoot, they look like they becoming rare when where you can find them, dog. He said Lacoste polos are $100. Wow. I won't be getting them. They used to be, like I said, they used to be $50, man. $50. Right. So what are some of the blacks, before I get out, what are some of the blacks high-end fashion? Do we have any black high-end fashion besides uh Yeezy? And I wouldn't even say Yeezy because what he's doing now, he was partnering with these people. He was partnering with Fendi. He was partnering with Balenciaga. He was partnering with Gap. Utilizing Gucci, Louis, some of their designers. And like now he's I don't know if y'all seen, he has a warehouse. I think it's in LA or in Calabasas, somewhere in Calabasas. And he was showing the facility, and he had some designers in there. Looked like they was sewing up some stuff, but I don't understand if they was in there using the material that he bought and was, making the clothing. He was saying he bought a lot of Balenciaga. So he bought a lot of Balenciaga with the high quality, slapped his label on there, and he's selling it for $20. So he said he bought Balenciaga. So I don't know if that count as that being a black on high fashion because he bought Balenciaga um, clothing. And he just stitched his name. I don't know what he had, 1932. What was it he had stitched on there? Something sometimes high fashion. Yes, some blacks, but folks pissed on that. T.I. was pushing black high in fashion. So what you talking about with the cool? Was that the cool word that you talking about? Like, because we don't like, yeah, because I'm wondering, maybe we could, get together and maybe put something out, where people can that, that want to buy, high fashion. When you talk about high fashion, you talking about the best quality of material, right? you know, Maybe we do have some people out there that we don't know. I know I don't know. Like I don't know, like the most of the brands, like I said, we don't promote. If there are, we don't promote black fashion, on black designers, and people would say Dapper Dan. Dapper Dan works for Gucci. I think he's partnered with some other Italian brand or overseas brand now. Shit, you gonna spend way more, 100 to 150 for Balenciaga. What are you talking about, Sean? What I'm not listening to? So, what is some of the high? Name me some of the um uh oh, okay. Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to look on there and see because I don't know. Because I don't know. Apparently, we all don't know because we continue to spend our money elsewhere. At least $800 for a Balenciaga t-shirt. God damn. Ooh, you got to have some money, dog. That's crazy. $800 for a t-shirt? That's crazy. But shoot, man, let me get up off of here, man. Hell, I wanted to just come on, man, and try to rant a little bit, man, and talk about, which I didn't talk about a whole lot because I wanted to try to get into us spending our money, and on other brands and making other people rich. You know what I'm saying? We continuously making other people that doesn't look like us rich, and then we make those brands validate us. I'm not successful or I don't feel good unless I have those types of brands on, and I can't afford it. They putting in all these numbers of what how much this stuff is costing. I can't afford it, man. I can't afford spend $800 on a t-shirt. God damn, $1,500 for a pair of shoes, man. What do you say? I feel people that wear all name brands and bullshit Italian designers can't dress. Yeah, man. I'm just not finna spend my money on it, dog. I'm just not. And I'm not. My kids don't wear. I ain't gonna say they don't wear it. I know my stepdaughter, she doesn't, but I can't lie and say my son don't. My son don't, but I don't buy it. I don't buy it. His mom buy it. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. And when we go shopping, I take him shopping and I buy him what I want him. I buy what he like, but it's not gonna be no high end fashion. It's not. I'm not finna spend no money on all that type of stuff. But his mama do. I dropped a bag of 70 count threads with t-shirts. Yeah, man. But let me get up off here, man. I appreciate everybody, man, for tuning in, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Again, if y'all don't have Mandingo Theory, the Castration of Africans, and the Sex-crazed Conceptualization, go to Same Tree Different Branch Publishing and get your copy. We got some other stuff that's coming out soon, so be on the lookout for it. I'll be announcing it probably next month. And then we having something else that's coming out that I'm excited about, that I'm gonna hopefully be partnering with the hair care industry on something that I'm working on. So that might be big. So y'all just be on the lookout, man, for that, man. I appreciate everybody, man, that tuned in, man. I'm gonna leave y'all with my boy, dang, what is his name? Stag Stigalo. We out of here, man.
My ancestors told me time to wake 'em up. I told my queen, put on your crown, sister, wake 'em up. I told my brother, you's a king, I'ma wake 'em up. You know the children are the future, time to wake 'em up. Let's bring the family back together, I'ma wake 'em up. You're making money, make it better, time to wake 'em up. Who got my back, I'm like whatever, I'ma wake 'em up. Now let us say these words together, I'ma wake 'em up. The oracle told me I do something great. Some are real, some are fake, so some you cannot escape. Some will hate, but some is great, so some assault in the lake. Some assaults may take place, I came to summon the great. You see New Orleans levee break and think we can't levitate? My granny couldn't read and write, you think she can't educate? Cause the graham crackers from granny was a snack that we ate. Yellow cake with chocolate frosting was my favorite she made. That's a fact, at age 8, circle twice, figure 8. Action figures to figure out the fact we cannot escape. The 8 balls of the apes, the way the law legislates. Medicaid, don't medicate, they want the flu vaccinate. Now let the fact resonate, with residue on the plate. When rent is doing is late, and when it's through section 8. Then imagine your mental state, no money to generate. Enough dimes for the dinner plate, who wants to celebrate? Wait. My ancestors told me time to wake 'em up. I told my queen, put on your crown, sister, wake 'em up. I told my brother, you's a king, I'ma wake 'em up. You know the children are the future, time to wake 'em up. Let's bring the family back together, I'ma wake 'em up. You're making money, make it better, time to wake 'em up. Who Who got my back? I'm like, whatever. I'ma wake them up. Now let us say these words together. I'ma wake them up. I'ma hug and kiss my mother when I walk in the house. I'ma hug and kiss my father when I walk in the house. I'ma hug and kiss my brother when I walk in the house. I'ma hug and kiss my sister when I walk in the house. No doubt, the family's back. My auntie been looking out. We used to spend like every weekend at my cousin them house. We on the floor, we on the bed, we on the living room couch. Two at the foot, two at the head, a few or more scattered about. We been in, we been out, we all been through in and out. Mama locking the screen door like ain't no more in and outs. Either in or you out. Now you can choose your own route, but ain't gonna be no back and forth and back, now be out. Plus your friends, we all ate from the same fucking plate. Same knife, same spoon, same cup full of drink. Let's pull our money together, let's invest in the bank. Let's buy up the neighborhood, do all the said that we can't. My ancestors told me time to wake 'em up. I told my queen, put on your crown, sister, wake 'em up. I told my brother, you's a king, I'ma wake 'em up. You know the children are the future, time to wake 'em up. Let's bring the family back together, I'ma wake 'em up. You're making money, make it better, time to wake 'em up. Who got my back? I'm like, whatever, I'ma wake 'em up. Now let us say these words together, I'ma wake 'em up.